Good. So I think our first agenda item is to review and approve the minutes of the last month, the February meeting. Did anyone have a chance to take a look at it? If you want to look at it now.
So the only addition I have is that I was at the Randall Road boat ramp meeting too.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Otherwise, look good to me.
Any other change? Okay. Get everyone's approval on it.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second.
Okay, all you have to say is got it. You gotta get this arrow over here.
Let's see here. Now you know what the minutes is written,
Yes, got it. Yeah.
and so Celeste. I mean, not Celeste. I'm sorry. Catherine.
Hearing you and seeing you.
No.
Catherine, you're still muted.
Sorry, yes.
And Dave
Yes.
and Mary.
Yes.
Good. Okay, so I'll just make the change that Mary suggested, and we'll go from there. All right. So the next item on the agenda is just update with the updates on what's going on with the stormwater runoff and the watershed erosion mitigations. I'll start off with the MVP action grant application. Dave, we were working on. I don't know if there's any updates. Is there, Dave? Have you heard anything?
I've heard nothing at this point.
I'm not surprised at that. I think it's going to take a little while before.
No, that's you're dealing with the state, so that's going to be something that I'm assuming that Becky's going to have to actually continue to follow up on, or it's just going to get lost in the weeds.
You want to touch base with Becky?
I will. Yep, she was on my list of people to call next week.
Okay, good. So the next one is the FERCog work that's the grant that they're applying for, or they're creating what's called watershed-based plan. They've hired a consulting company called CEI Engineering to take a look at the lake and to try to identify where the most problematic areas are. Something called best management practice locations. So so they're moving ahead with their work, and the goal, their hopes was that CEI would have their work done by the end of March, and that they would finish up the application and then send it to us for our comment. And that's all I know about that. But it is still moving along. Any questions? Sorry about that. I'll turn this off. All right. So, as far as I can say, basically, and I said, things are moving ahead to look at dealing with erosion and road runoff around the lake. So hopefully we'll make some progress this year on that. Any questions or comments? All right. Next item on the agenda is where we are with the goose management. I applied for the egg handling permit this year. I signed off on it. Usually Catherine does, but we decided to see if my signature was hers. And so we should be getting that permit in a week or two. I got Becky sent me a copy of the letter that gets sent to the USDA regarding the culling. I sent that to everybody a couple of days ago. I don't know if you had a chance to review it. Have any comments on it?
Well, they may not have said who the guilty party was, but we kind of know, don't we?
Yep, yep.
And it seems to me that that person's name is on the permit application. Is that not so?
It's on the application for the egg handling?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. The same group of guys have done it for years, and they're still willing to continue to do it.
Yes. And one of them is the person to whom the letter refers. Is that right?
I think so, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say anything anywhere.
So why are we putting them on the application if they're the ones that violated it last time?
Basically because they're willing to do it.
So
Right?
the egg handling requires that someone go on the boat and look for a nest, and then get the geese that are on the nest off the nest, and oil the eggs. And so it's kind of dangerous, but I think it's potentially dangerous. And
I would just make the suggestion, Mark, this year that they document it through photographs. So we have something of actual proof that the permit is being used for what it's supposed to be used. I don't think that's too much to ask.
yeah, I think that might be interesting too.
It would be interesting to boot. So if we're going to issue a permit for a certain procedure, we ought to be able to make sure that that procedure is being followed appropriately. I think the gentlemen that are going to do this would agree with that. So
I think that's a great idea, Dave. At the end of the season, or in the summertime, I send out a report back to the state to say how many eggs we had, how many nests we found. Last 2 years, they haven't found anything, so it's but we're still applying for it. So if anybody knows where this wheat eggs or these goose eggs nests on the lake, let me know, or let me know so we can go and out those eggs. Any comments on the USDA letter? Anything you want to follow up on that? When we met with this, I met with the select board regarding the justice, and I had asked that that LWAC be involved in the meetings just so that some like representation. So LWAC was added to the letter at that time, but it didn't end up in the final draft of the letter that got sent out. But I'm still hoping that if there is a meeting with USDA, that we will be involved. But we'll be able to participate. Thoughts or comments on anything?
I have a thought about the whole permit situation. If we're still on that, you're a little bit garbled, Mark. I'm having a little trouble understanding you. But in addition to having a report from the egg addling team, obviously that's not going to stop them from what's happened in the past. I think probably our instructions to them should be very specific, that they are not to engage in any kind of negotiation or instruction to who was it, Fish and Wildlife, or whoever was doing the culling.
Department of Agriculture.
Right, because a report is not going to change that, is it?
Well, there's two different independent, I agree with you, Captain, but just so we're clear, there's two different independent activities here. One is the egg addling, which is,
Mhm.
and then the culling was done through the USDA. And so they're two different activities.
Right, but as I understand it, it was done at the behest of a person who is on the egg addling team who was assuming authority that he didn't have to request it. Am I right about this?
I think you are right.
Right, and so perhaps our instructions about this should be rather specific about what authority that team has and does not have.
And documented for the minutes.
Okay, so I will send them a note. I'll talk to them. I talked to the team that's doing the addling, and like that they should stay within stay within just addling the eggs.
Yes.
I can, I'll say. I'll put that in the minutes too, just so we can document that. Let's see here. The next thing I need, we also have the goose management activities. Okay.
Oh, Mark, you are still garbled. I can barely understand you too.
Not sure what to do about that.
It may just be your connection.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm probably a little bit too far from the router. I am using an older computer because my computer died. I'll try to
Just
speak.
talk slow, Mark, and do the best you can.
I'll talk slowly, and so just to confirm, we're all set with the goose management discussion.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. All right. The next thing on the agenda is once the ice gets off the lake, I'll start getting geared up to do the water testing. And I need to buy some standards to calibrate the instruments by. So I get a conductivity standard. I get a 3 pH standards, one for 4, 7, and 10 pH. And there's a membrane, a special membrane that goes on the dissolved oxygen conductivity meter. And so that they have to be replaced every couple of years. And so I'd like to get approval to purchase the equipment, which purchase the stuff. And the total cost is about $300, and it will last me about 2 years.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the water testing calibration equipment and supplies.
I'll second the motion.
Are you okay with that?
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Last year, Dave was helping me, which was good. And really, as soon as I would get a boat on the lake, we'll start doing it again this year. If you're looking for the test results, they're on our website, the LRAC website. And I'm getting ready to put up last year's data. And so, we go back to, I think, the early 2000s. Bill Elliott was doing the measurements. And Leo was doing measurements. So it's we have a good history. And so I'll go ahead and buy that stuff, and then we'll get approval. I'll get reimbursed. Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
That's about all the agenda items that I had. Anything, anything else that you can think of that we want to discuss or bring up or plan for the future?
I hate to bring this up, Mark, but when you mentioned the website, I just went and looked at the website and I saw that we have 10 members on our committee. And that means that a quorum is 6.
Oh, I thought it was 4. I thought it was 5, half the committee.
Vacancy counts. Vacancy counts. That's what Grace told us last month, that even if there's a vacancy, if there are 10 places, we have to have a majority of that number of places. That was quite new information to me, but there it is.
I don't think we have any vacancies.
If you look on the website, it says we don't have a planning board representative and it's listed as vacancy.
We've never had a planning board representative.
Well, I know, right?
What can we do about that? Because we'll never have one.
I think we need to correct who the members are, who the actual members are.
Well, the thing is, it's not about actual members, Mary. What we were told last meeting, I think, is that the number of positions on the committee, regardless of whether they are filled or not, is the number that we have to base our quorum on. So if there are 10 places, even if some of those chairs are empty, we still have to have a majority of those chairs filled to have a quorum. So it seems to me that if we've never ever had a planning board representative, maybe we could ask the select board to take that line off.
I think, yes, you're correct. That's what I was referring to. Is the number 10 the correct number? Or is there somebody on that list that's not the correct member? Is there really 10 members of this committee?
There are meant to be, I think, by the select board charter to the committee, and that's why we could perhaps ask the select board to amend the charter. The charge, rather. That's the only thing I can think of, because it's really hard for us to get a quorum with that vacancy.
Is there anybody on that list that never attends that could be replaced also? I can't see the list, so I don't know the.
Okay, here's who's on the list. You, John, David, and me. And oh, wait a minute, there's Mark. He got pushed off the page. Oh, it's even worse. So there's 11. Okay, well, it's not worse. We still need 6. So there's Mark. Those are the ones we have here. The ones who aren't here are Art Keene, Howard Kinder, Terry Smith, Eric Stalker, Walter Tibbetts, and of course, vacancy from planning board representative. So there are 11 places, and so we still need 6 people for a quorum. So getting rid of that vacancy isn't going to help us enough.
But didn't we have the discussion here about Walter being a consultant and not a member?
And that was run by the town clerk, and she said that associate members are not really, that's not really a thing.
But not an associate, just a consultant as needed. I know you can't have associates, but
Right.
just that he could be a reporting member on the things he has when he's on the agenda and not be, he has a lot of meetings to attend and not have to attend all of the meetings.
But historically, those guys have always attended. We did better when we had in-person meetings than when we had Zoom. For example, Howard always attended. And
Right.
but once we went to Zoom, he kind of stopped. And he says once he can go in person again, he's going to be back. He's going to be participating again.
Well, that will help. As far as making Walter a sort of non-member, we would have to go back to the select board again, because a few years ago, before you were on the committee, Mary, we petitioned the select board to rewrite the charge to the committee to include the emergency management director and the dam keeper as members of our committee. And we also expanded our mission statement to take over the dam management committee functions.
The dam manager never attends, does he? I don't think. I know,
Howard?
but
The dam keeper, you mean?
yeah, the dam keeper.
He hasn't come to any Zoom meetings, but when we had in-person meetings, he just about always came.
Okay.
Right, so, how about this for today, then, I guess we can't consider this a meeting. And I will contact Grace and select board to figure out what we can get to have a plan, see if we can get to someone from the planning board participating or have them removed. And next month, I think we're going to be in better shape once we can start having in-person meetings.
Do you need to make that purchase before next month, or is that for later?
No, I'm going to go ahead. I need to go before next month, so I'm just going to go do it, and on the assumption that the next meeting will approve it.
That's fine. Yeah, then you can request reimbursement, and we can vote that.
Okay. All right. Complicated stuff here.
I'll tell you.
Well, I think we went through we covered all the items anyway, so it's just good to review this stuff. And well, I won't be doing any minutes, but I'm going to still follow up with the items regarding goods management and all right.
Okay.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah, okay, thank you guys.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Mark.
Appreciate you attending.